to start in Buffalo. There's that beautiful blue helmet. That must continue as well. Where the Bills, and this time it's appropriate, that blue helmet, announced the release of 5 players yesterday, including their former All-Pro safety, Jordan Poyer, former Pro Bowl center, Mitch Morse. And according to Ian Rappaport, they'll also release former All-Pro corner Tre'Davious White at the start of the new league year. They also restructured Von Miller's contract. There's a lot of to-dos here. It's just all in an effort for Brandon Beane and the obligation he has to free up some cap space. Bills are losing some key pieces that helped Buffalo to win 4 straight AFC East titles. And those titles, as we've heard Josh Allen give it the treatment, great accomplishments. They're nice T-shirts. They're great to have in the closet, but there are bigger goals in mind with this team. The Bills, though, are they in danger of missing this Super Bowl window, Peter, that we have kind of started to adopt and apply to some teams?
I feel for the Bills, and I feel for the Bills fans, because a second after they lose to the Chiefs in that AFC divisional round game, it's already, the window's closed, it's done. We've got to do this whole thing again this offseason. This was the same conversation last year. Same conversation the year before, and now I'm starting to think that there's things crystallize. And hey, wait, if they didn't get to the championship game last year, and they didn't get to the championship game the year before, that has that window closed? And I can't say yes yet, because as much as we love Poyer and as much as we love some of the other veterans who are unfortunately showing the door, I think Mitch Morse played really well last year too. Like, I thought that was an actual bigger surprise in a lot of ways. They still have that core. Can we take a look at still the guys they have that are 30 and under, who are still under contract, who are stars? You've got Josh Allen, maybe the best quarterback on any given Sunday. You've got Stephon Diggs, who's still a number 1 wide receiver. Milano is coming back from the injury. Dawkins, Cook. And here's the thing. Their offense with Joe Brady last year, it hit another stride down the stretch. They were humming. Did they come up short? Yes. Do they lose some key veteran players from teams that were from previous years? Yes, but that's every team. I still see the core there, and I still see a desire. It's hard for me in March, before free agency and before the draft, to read the last rites of the Buffalo Bills. If anything, they showed us last year when they were the 11th seed in the AFC heading into Week 13 and rattled off a bunch of wins and ended up the 2 seed. That, no, you can't count these guys out, and I will not close the window on them yet.
And you shouldn't. Peter, I was in London last fall when Matt Milano went down with that very significant injury for the Bills, and at times that felt like the balloon, almost the air started to come out, and it had to do with cap space and just like the emotional weight and impact of losing that player. So it's good to see him on that list, and I think the team will look different when they come back, but that was such a significant moment for a player that you highlighted on that list.
Well, as much as I want to say their window is closed, it's not. Only because they have a good quarterback. They have a good quarterback that can lead them, and they have a core. And like you said, they start hitting a stride when they kind of took the ball out the quarterback's hands and started running the ball a lot more. And so that made them a little more dangerous. I don't know how it looks losing your starting safety, which was definitely a leader in the defense, and then kind of losing a couple other guys and a couple other pieces. And it's always different when a quarterback gets under center with a different center. But sometimes it clicks, and sometimes you just need to make changes. And everybody does it. It's just they have key pieces that they lose it, or they think they can replace. So we gonna see, but I mean, hopefully for me, and I'm in the division, they window closed. Marched up, they can't do it no more. But any given Sunday, Josh Allen can go 6 touchdowns himself. And so we just got to see it. We got to wait and see.
Problem is that we've seen him do that in playoff games, and they lose. Like, he's awesome in the playoffs. He's awesome against the Chiefs, and they lose. And I'm looking at these names of Poyer and then Trey White, and it's like, we gave it a shot. How many times were we going to run this thing back? We tried, and it just never worked. You couldn't get over the hump. I think to Peter's point, some people probably turn on the show and they're like, Super Bowl window for the Bills because they were in a title game a few years ago? No, I don't think we put it that way. I think because we all watched Josh Allen and we're like, one of these years he's so good they could cash it in. But look, I don't think we're going to be coming in Monday morning after they lose a playoff game be like, Mitch Morse would have been the difference. It's not. It's a nice piece, but it depends what they're going to do for the next several months. It depends what Beane does in the draft, what Beane does in the next few days in free agency. And just does the ball, like Plinko, when it comes down like that, does the ball finally go in one of those times? How many playoff shots does Josh Allen get until they finally cash one in? Maybe never. Maybe this is the year. I just think every conversation about Buffalo, it has to go back to Kansas City, and that's just the way we are. And as long as Kelsey, Reed, Mahomes, and Jones are there, that's most of the conversation about Buffalo. And I'm extremely pro-Buffalo. But I'm also extremely pro-facts. And we're even showing this old stuff. It doesn't matter. They have to get over the Kansas City thing. And I think if they're doing some maneuvering right now with money and adding new pieces, fine. If Jordan Poyer, Mitch Morris, all these guys come back, we've kind of seen that movie before. I'm actually interested for some new characters.
Well, the facts are as well that it was the Arrowhead Invitational. And I think towards the end of our season, we really started to talk about the fact that the Bills should have jumped on or could have jumped on an opportunity here where Burrow was down and other AFC guys were down. And you should take an opportunity to host the Chiefs and crush them in your home building in a playoff game. And they could not get the job done. I almost think of Buffalo as that old creaky house that you're staying in. You're trying to shut the window and you're putting all your body weight on it and the window just stops. You're I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to come back tomorrow, maybe next season, and see if the window closes or if I have to jar it back open in order for this opportunity to. The window is just in a holding pattern right now. Maybe it needs some WD-40. We're not quite sure how to assess it, but right now it's stuck. It's still open, a little bit closed.
This is an original window metaphor, Jamie. Nicely done. You can't find many of those.
Judon, who's it harder to prepare for, the Dolphins or the Bills? You got this high-powered speed offense, then you got the Bills who have Josh Allen, that beast at quarterback.
I think the Dolphins kind of give you the same look every time you play them. I think the Bills can always switch it up. They can get Stephon Diggs the ball 13 times, or they can go read option sometimes, or they can go power game sometimes. They switch it up. So I feel like the Dolphins do what they do. They coming out, they speed in space, and it's difficult. So it's just two different beasts.
Picking your poison.
Yeah, it's just two different beasts. So do you want to, if you can't stop the speed, you're gonna die fast with the Dolphins. But the Bills can do it in multiple ways.
The answer is it's easier to prepare for the Jets. That's what it is. Sorry, but come on now. That's just facts. They're going to come back this year, but let's go.